So you're thinking of moving to Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, let me tell you that Knoxville, Tennessee is not all butterflies and rainbows. As a matter of fact, we have quite a few bad things, and today we're gonna name off, let me see, hold on. I have them all right here. We're gonna name off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bad things about Knoxville, Tennessee, and why you should not move here.
If this is your first time in the channel, subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first one to know about the current market in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm Hilmar.
And I'm Christian with Castillo Realty, and we get calls from people just like you every single day. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, please feel free to reach out to us because we'd love to help you make a smooth move to Knoxville, Tennessee. All right, so we're gonna jump right in and we're gonna talk about the weather first. So one of the things that really, personally, I don't like about Knoxville, and I think quite a few other people don't as well, is the fact that it can be so hot and so cold, just the duality of it all.
And in both being so humid.
Oh, right.
Because
right.
I think when it's so hot and it's so humid, you suffer.
Right.
And the same I feel with the cold, like it really gets to my bones when it's so cold and so humid, no fun.
We literally just got off of a meeting with somebody from, I actually have no idea where he was from, but we just got off a meeting with them and he talked about coming to Knoxville and he was like, oh, I remember July, it was 95 degrees with 99% humidity.
Another bad thing I will say to consider here with the winter time. There are sometimes that we go a week without seeing the sun, right? And that leads to many people suffering from seasonal depression. I mean, it's a real thing.
Yep.
And I do have my red light. Like, I seriously use my red light for that. It's not fun either, you know, when you're cold
right.
and no sun.
Right. When I first saw that red light therapy stuff, I texted my mom because she sent me a picture of it, and I texted my mom and I was like, Mom, are you trying to grow some stuff? What are you doing? All right, let's move on to the next topic. We talked about the weather. Now let's talk about the bugs.
Oh my.
Okay, the bugs here, I'm not a huge guy on bugs. I'll tell you that right now, but we have these very annoying little stink bugs during the spring and summer months that just get into your doors, they get into your offices, they literally get everywhere, okay? And it's a multiple amount of bugs.
Sometimes we have to call pest control.
I don't like them. Mm-hmm. Another bit of bugs is the cicadas. Oh, they're so loud and so annoying,
and so disgusting.
Ugh, honestly.
I mean, like, honestly, I don't want to go out.
Those things are sitting in those trees, absolutely screaming away, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes I also like to go outside and scream. It's great. But it's constant. It's constant. I remember, I think
they're a big amount, and when they die, they're in the street. I mean, like everywhere.
Yeah, and they shed too. They shed their shells and get new ones, and
we have cicada season.
We do. We have cicada season and
season.
stink bug season.
For
stink
real.
bug season. Yeah. All right, and the last thing we'll talk about the bugs are these disgusting little bugs that have like 8 or 10 legs, okay? And then they have 2 little legs at their tail, and they have little pinchers up front.
There is also that season.
Yes.
That season.
And sometimes they'll crawl up through your septic system too, and they'll get in your shower and stuff. And it's not the most common thing. That truly is like one of the least common things to happen here, but it does happen.
So if you're not into bugs, Knoxville might not be the place for you. It's not bug-free place. What's next, Christian?
All right, you asked what's next, and next we have allergies. And let me just tell you,
no, that is happening today.
that is happening right now. This was, I'm trying not to be gross, right? But I am currently in the necessity of tissues constantly because allergies. And we're what, in the middle of winter? Okay, there's not even any trees pollinating outside or flowers.
But it's the mold that is still, it has been raining, so mold also bothers the allergies, and that is another big problem. Another season that we have here is pollen season. If you suffer from allergies, watch out, because this is a serious allergy.
And I'm pretty sure we're nationally ranked as, I think, number 1 or number 3 of the most
country.
allergy-ridden places. Just keep that in mind. All right, so we talked about allergies, we talked about bugs, we've talked about the weather. What do we have next?
We have the size of Knoxville, and it's not big at all. So our downtown is small, maybe 10 streets up and down.
Sure.
Our biggest, tallest building is 27 stories. So we don't have downtown full of skyscrapers. We don't have traffic jam in downtown. I mean, maybe.
I was about to say, nah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, you stick around for that, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes,
now,
that's right.
I will absolutely agree with everything else. So we don't really have the biggest city. It's not, there's not an incredible amount of things to do as far as just within the city of Knoxville, like downtown Knoxville, okay? There's Market Square, okay? And that's a wonderful place to be. There's quite a few stores, there's a couple of places you can go around, a couple of restaurants, but it's nothing that's like, I'm gonna spend a day in the city of Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm not even going to see half of it, right? And we're just talking downtown Knoxville at the very moment, right? We're not talking about the full city of Knoxville because we have quite a few suburbs within that. But just talking about downtown Knoxville, the city, it's not the biggest. Another thing is, considering Knoxville is such a small size, we don't really have the most comprehensive transportation system, as we've said in some of our other videos before, right? It's really just a few buses that go to a couple of the other suburbs, but they take a significantly long time to get there if you wanted to go from downtown to some of the outside suburbs. So
and it doesn't go to all of them.
Right.
Some of the major suburbs.
Right.
Of Knoxville.
Yep. So keep in mind, if this is the kind of city that you want to find out and you want to explore and you want to go the urban jungle, if you will, that's unfortunately not really us. We have a small town. I like to call it a small big city. Right, and Hilmar said this on the video before. It's a small big city because there are things to do, but there's not that much.
You might be watching from your TV, so you don't have a button to subscribe. So go ahead and grab your phone, hit subscribe, so you don't miss a beat. Back to the video. To piggyback out of the public transportation, we continue with transportation, and it is our traffic. What happens with traffic, Christian?
Dude, there are times, and specifically if you're rush hour 5:30 leaving from downtown Knoxville trying to go anywhere else and you're on I-40, let me just tell you, good luck. Take a book, you might need it. It's pretty tough traffic.
It's packed.
It's tough traffic.
It's not standing traffic, let's also be honest. You're not gonna be set in traffic for an hour, but you are going to be sitting in traffic, especially if you go from the west end to downtown or the north end.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna be dead in the water. So either way, east, west, I-40 has become horrible.
I did a post on one of my pages asking my friends and the citizens of Knoxville here what's their least favorite thing about Knoxville, and funny enough, traffic came up at least 5 or 6 times.
I think for us who have lived here for so many years, and Knoxville has grown so much in such a short amount of time, I don't think we have adjusted to the new traffic patterns. So I think that's one of the reasons we see it worse.
So it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it isn't fun. And it's not only that. I know Alcoa gets the same way, Alcoa Highway and Pellissippi Parkway. Pellissippi Parkway connects from Knoxville to Oak Ridge and Maryville as well. So we've talked about those in the other suburbs. So just keep that in mind. If you're wanting to go from Maryville or Oak Ridge to Knoxville, you're gonna have tough traffic. And something that's kind of been coming up recently that's a little weird and a little scary, I'm not gonna lie, is tornadoes. I mean, look, we used to have tornadoes. I remember when I was a little kid growing up, I was maybe around 7 or 8 or so. Tornadoes were like a serious thing in the Knoxville/Seymour down to kind of the east area, which is where I grew up. But that kind of stopped for a few years. There was a...
Well, and it was just high winds.
Yeah, right. I don't think there was ever a tornado itself. I think maybe we had 1 or 2 touchdowns in a span of like, 20 years, like no joke.
Yeah.
But recently...
No, let me tell you, I have a dear friend who moved from Florida here, and he mentioned one of the reasons he's moving, it's because of the weather, tornadoes and, like natural disasters. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, we don't have that problem here. He moves in July and August.
Dude, I mean, literally the next day, this man's car gets destroyed by a tree that fell down because of a tornado that touched down. I mean, not even too far away. I mean, maybe even less than a mile away from this guy. Mm-hmm.
So it is a real thing now here. And I don't think we fear, right? Maybe people who live in tornado prone areas, but still, now that we know it is there, every time it rains and it's, that atmosphere for tornadoes is like.
Right, like right now while we're filming, come look at this with me, okay?
Now, we don't want to scare you away, right? But we just want to make you aware of what's happening in Knoxville. So we're not a tornado alley. It's not in our systems, but it's been happening for the last 2 years.
All right, one of the things that I enjoy as well, but you might not, is Southern charm, right? If you want to get into a conversation with your neighbor at the grocery store for 10 to 15, maybe 20. Right, that you don't know, because we do have Southern hospitality here. We do have that good old Southern charm, son, okay? I'm going to talk to you at the grocery store now.
Now, that, I think, it's fading a little bit. But it is still. Tennessee is called the volunteer state for something. And that's what you're going to find here. A lot of people that is willing to volunteer to anything with no interest at all. If you are local and you're watching this video, tell us in the comments, what is your Southern charm? And if you're from out of state, thinking to move to Knoxville, watching, and you have been here, tell us your story about Southern charm. Now, we have talked about allergies, traffic, I mean, you name it. I want to conclude this video with something very, very important, because you know that we live in the mountains, but people then don't realize that how your neighborhood is gonna look like. And we have a lot of hills. So we're not flat land. I remember when we moved from Florida here, I used to get sick on the roads, no kidding. I mean, we have a lot of hills, a lot of back roads.
A lot of twists and turns too. Oh my gosh. I remember the first time we ever went to Gatlinburg, I think it was. I remember she had to get out of the car. I was a little kid and she had to get out of the car, and I didn't understand at the time what was going on or why she was feeling the way that she was. If you guys get car sick very quickly, I would just recommend not moving to Knoxville.
No kidding. No. Well, for me, it did pass. And as of today, we were actually in Gatlinburg. And usually if I'm driving, I don't get car sick. But if I'm the passenger, I still get car sick. And it's been 20 plus years.
20-something, yeah.
Living in Knoxville or, just in the area.
But also, big point of contention here is if you are moving to Knoxville, okay, and you're wanting to go to the University of Tennessee, they don't call it a hilly campus for nothing, okay? As somebody who graduated from the University of Tennessee, let me tell you guys that seriously, you will get big calves, okay? Just from going, from one class to the next, okay? If you gotta go to Aries Hall, good luck, okay? If you gotta walk to the Ag campus, good luck. If you're in the band,
For the moms, when you come for orientation, please use your tennis shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't come in heels.
Yeah, bring some tennis shoes.
Well, we have given you all information we have from our point of view. We have talked to so many people that we know, friends, family, and gather a lot of this information. Like Christian mentioned, he posted a line, hey, drop me this information, and we know for a fact what are the cons, why people will not move to Knoxville. So it is in your side of the court now to tell us if Knoxville will be the place for you. Is it Knoxville for you? Are you willing to take the bugs, the allergies, the traffic, all of that?
And one last thing before we go here, I always just like to say this. I always give us a reality check. You know, Hilmar said this on one of our first few videos, and I've started to notice it too. So as much as we have positive information about how wonderful Knoxville is, because it is a great place to live, not everything is butterflies and rainbows. So we appreciate you for sticking around. If you guys have any questions, look at the comment section. We have a lot of stuff in there for you. You can reach out to us. You can do a Zoom meeting.
Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. And hey, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check out some of our other videos. We'll see you next. Oh,
Tap the bell for notifications.
tap that bell for notifications. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
All right, so we talked about weather. We talked about, what did we talk about?